Want to increase sales? Try Bitrix 24, a leading free online CRM.
Get a real-time bird
Godlow on the track.
Every day you use multiple communication channels to talk to your clients. Why not unify all of them? Bittrex 24 CRM does just that. In just a few minutes, you can connect your phone, email, social networks, messengers, and install live chat widget on your website.
Rhino.
Doesn't feel like.
Five seconds remaining.
Чтобы, знаешь, вот так вот заколить. Например, привел, да, то это кардинально разные игроки. Заяц, он реально может в соло выиграть игру, там.
Radiant Dire team ban.
Gambit have like I think they're further along in their progression as a team. I feel like they've figured things out a little bit more than GeekFam. And I look at GeekFam, comparing them to like, bit unfair, but comparing them to another team within their region, TNC, like, you know, I just don't see that like really just this really clean running machine that is going through, right? GeekFam, they have a lot of bumps.
It's funny, they're like TNC pre-getting a coach. Like a year ago. Remember when he joined? Suddenly there was all this discipline. Now
but they got Dubu, even though, you know, I know he's playing position 5, but he used to be coach. So.
Dubu is as close to chaotic neutral as a captain in Dota.
I couldn't imagine Dubu as a coach, you know? I could barely see him as a captain just with my interactions with him in pubs and stuff. I love Dubu, just to be clear. This is not a negative
feel like it
him.
here,
no, Dubu's hilarious, man. I love him, but I just can't see him with that sort of authority, I guess.
It's just because he's a bit of a clown, right?
Yeah.
It's the same as a lot of those old MVP Phoenix guys, right? Febby, you know, popular Dota streamer, routinely dresses up as a duck and gets naked, whatever floats your boat. And then, of course, March, who now with TNC, also a nice, fun-loving guy, famous for the roar of power back at TI6. And both openers, pretty meta. You've got the minion hero in the Chen to combine with the mag one of the better heroes in this patch for sure because you're such a powerful core, and in addition, you provide bonus damage to your carry, and you've got BKB piercing disabled. The Omni Knight kind of counteracts that if you can get the GA off in response to the RP, and Disruptor, probably the best four in this tournament so far.
Do you have a favorite for this opening? Because I like Geek Fam's more.
I like Gambit's actually. I think you can mold around it a bit better, and I think that Mag is just too strong of a hero right now. I like the Omni, but I think it's easier to deal with. You can deal with what an Omni does a lot easier than I think you can with the Mag.
Gambit runs it with GPK, right? Not Dream? I think they run 2 Mag.
Correct. I believe both can play it though.
The part of the reason I like Geek Fams, even though it is kind of, it's definitely telegraphing what they're going to be doing here, but I think it fits right into the meta. And this combination of catch and team fight, I think it's just so incredibly good to ball up and feel stronger than the enemy and force them to always be backing down from you, and then Disruptor is the best catch in the game to counteract that.
It looks great as well. It's straight out, literally the opening from the second game Pandas played, if I'm not mistaken. At least one of them from yesterday, maybe two, where you combine Disruptor, who effectively, I love as a 5 player because you solve all your catch issues. Suddenly you don't have to worry about having reach. You know you're going to be able to find kills. You have someone that can do stuff on the map. Combine it with arguably the best defensive offlaner in Dota right now, which is where the meta is pushed us toward.
Now you could just focus on, you know, little things like, okay, make sure you just have enough wave clear. That's kind of easy to get, and then just focus on your damage types and how you're going to be getting that, and just focusing on like one-to-one counters.
And another thing, it's this concept of irreplaceable mechanics. It was part of what I felt made Alchemist so dominant this past TI. I'm farming, you're farming, I get way more gold, right? Disruptor is the only hero in Dota right now that has a way to itemize to absolutely destroy your hero. I lift you up in the air with Yules, I pop my Ag's ultimate and kinetic field, it's now almost 5 seconds, you are stuck. You are doomed taking mega damage. Obviously Doom is the same, but it's a little different in execution.
However, he's not doing too well in terms of the rankings. He's very frequently picked. Like out of the 23 games he's been picked 10 games, he's only won 4 of those though.
So where's sample size?
Sample size. Still not very successful.
Well, if he had
As
won one
opposed to
extra
some
game.
other heroes, but you know.
What other heroes are you talking about, Chi?
Well, Lich has been picked 13 times with a 62% win rate. Rubik has been picked 12 times with 67% win rate. It's been great. Also, I'm out of juice. I wouldn't mind another one.
Jesus. Shiver went from, you know, it's so great that this production, you know, they work these long hours, they set everything up for success, but where's my goddamn juice? Jesus, I'm working with a bunch of amateurs.
No.
Shiver the diva coming out.
Yeah, that's the next video. If we made one on Brian's true persona, just wait till you guys at home get a peek of what it's like to actually see Sheev behind the scenes.
I mean, Capitalist has been asked if you don't want orange. Do you want orange juice?
I would love some.
You know, you were the one that shouted. It's like someone woke up. I'm like, what is going on?
Radiant team
Orange juice is great.
Okay, I can't
Or
believe
water
it.
in your pants. Apparently.
Tree Protector was still out there in the pool. I was looking through these heroes and I was like, look at all our bans. I was like, you know, she mentioned Rubik. I saw, you know, the Morphling, the Gambit had been 1-2ing for a lot of this tournament. Yeah, okay, all makes sense. And I'm like, where the hell is Tree Protector? There's like a lot of heroes that were left out in the pool. Dro Ranger, Tree, we now have Tiny being picked up.
Venge. Oh, no, he's banned. Never mind.
I really like Trient against mag drafts because you know that there's going to be BKBs becoming a problem, and you're one of the only mechanics left in Dota that can help deal with it. And I love this pick too. Razor immediately, because you expect a melee hero to be combined with this Magnus, so it denies heroes like Troll. I think that Slark's banned too, I would imagine. Otherwise, this is an instant Slark pick. Otherwise, you might be looking at something like a PA, but that's just so squishy.
Yeah.
It's not ideal in the patch. You want something that's a little more durable.
That's
Just spread the creep, spread the poison until you're stuck inside your base. Also, very good against Omni Knight, both in the laning phase and throughout the game. Same with Razor, because you have a really tough time running through the wards. You need that BKB early on.
I guess I would feel more confident about it if I knew 100% what my matchup was for the lane.
True.
Right? Just because if they run mag mid, then you can put Razor mid. Then you could get a different matchup. I also don't think Razor probably suffers too badly just from the laning phase of Veno, but I'm not sure.
Well, I don't think you want him against Razor necessarily, but you put him against Omni and he just hits him in the face. It's very difficult to lane there. Although, I will say that's one hero, I discussed this yesterday, but one of the big changes to the way teams have to approach lanes, if you look back to, there were two huge issues, or disruptions in the past. One was the addition of the backpack. So all of a sudden you could have extra regen, and the other was when people realized they could just die to tower and jungle creeps. Remember when they had to change the death timer?
Yeah.
Because you'd have heroes like Skywrath that have very efficient ways of turning mana into damage.
Yeah, and then just die and then come back full.
That mechanic was removed. Now you have to go deny the tower. It's not quite as common. However, because we all now have personal couriers, these heroes like Disruptor that can just buy 2 mangoes, send them out, immediately pop them, and keep spamming Q, it's very easy.
Dire team ban.
Brewmaster!
So slow though.
Yes, but
still better than having no courier at all.
yeah,
I get it.
It makes heroes like Veno that have to like try and whittle you down weaker, because every single hero can just buy more regen, and you ignore the fact that you're being harassed.
I'm not ever super convinced about the Brewmaster versus Omni matchup, just because I don't think Brewmaster is as strong as Omni just all around. Maybe you counter Guardian Angel, but he still has Purification and you still kind of suck. So, but for this, at least you have like Tornado against the Razor. I think that is like a really good isolating factor. So I feel like it does do a little bit better here than
AoE Dispel for the root as well. It's quite nice. We saw that. Who played it? It was Gambit that played it yesterday, because their brew looked great.
Yeah, Gambit did play yesterday against Fighting.
Is Bloodseeker in the pool? Because that's another possibility here for Gambit. That would actually be the exact
same. You like that against Razor Omni?
Yeah, I love it against Razor. Rupture the Razor.
Okay, but you're still laning phase matchup against Omni, and then it's still like a tempo lead sort of deal where.
Sure, but so what you're looking for right now, you need a core that synergizes with Mag, that can buy Manta, because you're playing that doesn't get super screwed by Razors. And that's a different story. That's excellent. It's a tree counter. It applies a ton of tempo, and it makes more sense with the brew now, because you have super powerful mid-game team fight. Now with the Lesh behind it, you're going to be able to take towers as well.
Yeah, I like this concept a lot. It mixes up your damage as well against the Omni Knight. All around, I think this is a really cool idea. Like, there's not as much to fear about your laning phase anymore. Plus, I actually thought that maybe I think Phantom Lancer was actually banned in that last phase.
I wouldn't be surprised. That's
I had that somewhere in my head. You know, Phantom Lancer could be a pickup, and
yeah, if I'm Geek Fam now, I think that you've got the late game, so just try and make sure that you can get there. Pick something that scales at least as well or better than a Leshrac, and be able to fight them head on. However, that's difficult. Whenever you plan on team fighting a Brewmaster, it's kind of like this old idea. We haven't seen Brew in the meta for so long, but you lost games when you did that. You don't want to. I still remember overhearing, it was like some one of the EG videos or something where they had picked on dying and like all these heroes to fight into a brew, and they were very upset with each other that they tried it.
We forgot that one was still in the pool.
So do we switch how do you want to do this? Do you want the Magnus to match up against the Omni, and then have the Lesh mid against the Razor mid?
I think
they'll still have GPK play the Mag. I played Mag yesterday. It was really good.
Yeah, I think you go Mag mid. I think Mag's a lot better against Razor than you think.
Okay.
Because you have such high base damage and a Quelling Blade, you're not really going to get threatened too hard, and you can always skewer out of every of the link. So, and also worst case, Razor gets out levels, then you just go to jungle.
Well, for the fact that this is a drone ranger lineup, one of the things I always look to is I hate it when they double down on jungle heroes. Omni Knight and Razor, because they're such strong laners, they don't need to jungle, right?
Yeah.
So the drone ranger is going to be able to recover if pressure becomes too much of a problem. But it's got a tree protector, so
I just hate it with the Razor. I like Drow when you need a better auto right clicker. Like Drow is not a complement to Razor like it is for Storm or
why not?
Quap
You really like attack
or
speed on
Lina.
Razor.
Yeah, but
The new Razor,
your
when you
damage
just
takes
suck
so
onto
long.
somebody?
Yeah, but your damage takes so much longer to come up is the problem. You don't start high damage, and in this game specifically, against this lineup, you're going to need to itemize for survivability first. I favor Gambit here. I also think that the Chen factor is huge when both Geek Fam supports have a really difficult time dealing with creeps.
Okay. I have a hard time looking away from Geek Fam's like opening 3, and then it's still Draw Ranger lineup. Both those things for me have been looking really successful. This lineup could actually lose some early game and still like do the high ground defense because it's a Draw lineup. I feel like there's a lot of opportunities for them to win in multiple points of the game. I feel like they can win out on lanes. I think they can roll over mid game potentially with this strong a team fight. I just can't argue against the track record of those heroes.
The Drow has to have a great laning phase, because otherwise you're going to lose all your tier 1s, and the map for Geek Fam's going to a brew, that's always a threat with alt top. Tiny hunting is his excess vampires. Best hero. Like, it's just, to my mind, too much tempo to deal with.
Well,
They're going to win.
I like it. It's a split panel. We're going to definitely have something to talk about after the game, regardless of results. We always do anyway. So that it is time for the opening game of the playoffs. I have 5 more letters for you. ODBSJ.
Prepare.
Thank you very much, Steve. Yes, looking forward to this one. Another exciting day here at the WePlay Bukovel Minor. Brian, what do we reckon? Drow strat this time for Geek Fam. We saw it the other day. That time round, they picked it as the first pick hero. Didn't work out great for them. This time round, they seem to feel that they found themselves in a position where they can come in with the 5th pick Drow.
Wow, the crowd's getting ready for this game as well. The one nervous thing I have about this lineup is when Geek Fam did this yesterday, even though it was a first pick Drow, so it was more punished, they were just getting ran at on the Drow. And I'm kind of concerned about that happening again. This is going to be a carry Leshrac. We weren't exactly sure. That's kind of what I expected, just because you want usually a ranged carry against Omni Knight in lane, just really nice. Pretty much nothing Omni Knight can do. The one thing I like to punish about Omni Knight as a carry is these heroes that are generally gankable in the early stages, like Leshrac, until they get 1 or 2 small items, are not gankable, because Omni Knight, as good of a laner as he is, just doesn't represent any gank threat on you unless he's like diving you. But Leshrac, super fast, ranged hero. These other heroes like Gyros, the Lunas, these heroes just don't get ganked under the pressure of the Omni Knight, but obviously those heroes aren't nearly as popular. I just think the pace of the game from Gambit, as the panel was kind of talking about, might just be too fast here. And for Mag, yeah, you get drain damage from the Razor, but first off, when Razor gets level 3, which makes the static link more powerful enough to actually drain enough damage, at that point it's like jungling half the time.
Well, that's the thing, right? You know, Magnus is one of those heroes that it doesn't really matter what you send mid. He's, you know, if it's a competent Magnus player, he's going to have a good game in terms of being close to that top end of the net worth.
Yeah, that's kind of the hero right now, and what makes him so good. There's very few cores in the game right now that you just pick first round, and they're going to get what they get no matter what. And Mag's now one of the few that fits that description. Puck kind of was that way, but now they keep nerfing the laning stage. They haven't touched Mag yet. So even though he gets drained of damage, he took Skewer to minimize the stat, which I don't even know if that's worth it, because the Empower is just so much damage. So even if he gave away 10 more damage because you couldn't Skewer,
yeah,
kind of interesting.
I guess, yeah, you definitely could do a bit of theory crafting about that. Definitely when you're considering just the level on the static link, you know, the build-up's not going to be too crazy against you.
I expect him to know better than I do.
Oh,
but
sure.
It's kind of funny, like both have an argument, right? I like this creep drag. I think Brewmaster's early laning stage is pretty weak, the first 1 to 2 levels. So giving him, looking to deny a creep wave underneath your tower or drag it in front, both options are fine. Looks like they're choosing to do the latter, dragging in to keep the lane equilibrium, and in the meantime, the Drow Ranger also dragging the creeps to her other wave. So pretty normal stuff going on top, while a lot of trading going on bottom. This is one fear I always have when I Leshrac safe lane, is my lane just gets pushed into me. You don't have any wave clear early levels. Like, yeah, you have the stun that does damage, but this always happens whenever I'm playing Leshrac safe. A nice toss under tower, but the creep, hero melee creep, takes the entire 3 tower shot that Cuckoo would have taken.
Oh, see top Shash that. Getting right in underneath that tower, trying to keep the aggression on Drow here on those early levels of Raven.
Mid lane actually going quite well for Carl, but as you said, like, Mag, whatever, worst case scenario, weather the storm of the first couple of levels, and then you're just gonna jungle anyway.
Shashlo. So to be a little careful here, still, Nature's Grasp still has a lot of setup potential. Get caught in it too long, and a barrage of multi-shot from Raven could put him off over the edge, but keeping the lane held well. Shashlo is kind of struggling to get the creep hits, falling a little bit behind on these first few ones.
Yeah, it looks like every lane going slightly in advantage of Geek Fam here. So the pace of the game that I was worried about Gambit setting is already looking to not be the case. Even though it is quite early to tell, this is clearly an advantage in all 3 lanes. About 3 or 4 CS across the board. And that's just exactly what the Geek Fam lineup needs. They do have strong lanes in the Drow, Treant, the Razor, as well as the Omni. I just figured that if they're not ahead, the pace of the game from Gambit is much faster than that of Geek Fam. By no means can they not contest the mid-game from the Geek Fam side. Drow does a lot of mid-game damage now. Razor with 1 or 2 small items absolutely contributes to fights. And Omni Knight, obviously one of the best offlaners for the mid-game team fights. This tech camp is kind of being a thorn in the side for Gambit in the safe lane here.
Yeah, Geek Fam's been able to hold the lane in a very nice position with those constant pulls to the side. And now Vampire, he's tried to step forward to interrupt this, but he's caught in the kinetic field. Thunderstrike's out on him. That's going to be your first blood. As Geek Fam, they're just lane control down is a little too much for Gambit's dual lane to deal with at the moment.
Incredible abuse of that camp. Meanwhile, we see Dubu going down top, but what happens bottom is they keep forcing the creeps to be pulled into the creep camp, and they have to walk up there and contest. And even though Disruptor Omni don't really have, well, quote-unquote, kill potential between the 2 heroes, if you're forced to walk into them, they're pretty strong. So because Vampire had to contest that stacked camp to stop the creeps from getting pulled, he put himself out of position, and that's a really good way to abuse the heroes that Cuckoo and I'm totally blanking right now.
That's the right, Brian, it's early.
Zephyr, I'm like, I know it's a name I've said about 20 times this tournament that Cuckoo and Zephyr have in the bottom lane.
Is it, looking at the draft still as well, Brian, one thing that I do notice from Geek Fam's lineup is the only control is Disruptor and Tree, right? They don't have any sort of hard stuns. Is that going to be a problem for Geek Fam down the line, or is Disruptor and Tree enough for sort of team fight control?
The thing is, you don't really have heroes that need to be hard stunned. You don't have these like Storm Spirits, these insta-cast mobility heroes. You have Lesh, you have Mag, you have Brute Cores. So as long as you can control them with stuff like Kinetic Field, even just the overgrowth, the glimpses out of position, I think it's enough to punish the heroes they're going against. So some games, lack of hard disable can be much more costly than others, and I don't think this is one of those games.
Oh, Vampire. Could be a second time he's taken down here. Zephyr slowly right-clicks him out of... He was able to get over and grab the bounce, at least tiny, but a second death throw him down on this bottom.
Yeah, this is not quite the start that Gambit's looking for. I said that already, but there's really no kill potential in any of the lanes for this Tiny. The Razor is just too dominant.
Oh, here we go. Maybe they can get something done here. As soon as Vampire's back in the game, he's going to look to move towards the top lane and get aggressive with FNG and Shashlo surrounding Raven, and they'll bring him down. Raven will fall. Vampire may have gone down those 2 times bottom, but he's quick to read the situation and go somewhere where he can make some action happen.
I think that's important, but at the same time, your Leshrac is pretty low, so he's going to suffer a bit, most likely, once the lane gets pushed back out. Really good movement from him. As I said there, I didn't really see any kill potential in these lanes, but tossing the Granite Golem onto the Drow, that's definitely a way to set up a kill. Zephyr now being even more of an annoyance. Tossed back on the tree as well. He's pretty tanky. Also hard to chase him through this grass, but
they've got FNG wrap around. Mud Golems are ready to start chucking some stones at him. And Gambit, yeah, as you say, they were falling a little bit behind in these lanes in terms of farm, just a few CS, very close, but now able to read a position to get back in, and whoa, just mid lane.
Killed in the mid lane. I'm assuming that's to the RP, which is
look at this top lane. They're just diving past tier 1's Gambit. They've turned it up right now. It may have been a slow start for the first few minutes, but now Gambit bringing the heat.
What did I say in the draft, right? Drow's just going to get ran at, and they're doing such a good job of doing just that. I was really concerned about the slow start they had, but wow. The oven's been turned on, and the heat is being brought to Geek Fam. That is quite a change of pace in the last like 30 seconds.
Yeah. And it's those sort of moves, those sort of fast plays, right, that, you know, for Geek Fam, if you're carry being a Drow, you start to feel a little worried about. If they're making moves like this, you know the Gambits, they're not going to stop keeping this pace up.
Yeah, and even though the CS not looking too hot for the Brewmaster and the Lesh, the Drow, you're just going to keep getting ran at, and it's going to be on in the hands of the Razor as well as the Omni Knight to make space for you, and there's just so much mid-game coming from Gambit. It just scares me. It scared me at the start of the game. I thought they were going to alleviate that pressure pretty well, but now Gambit really is showing the capabilities of their draft. I love how they're using the Chin. Mag getting the double neutral drop. Broom handle really good for that hero. Royal Jelly always good for any core that uses their mana to farm. So he's super happy with that. Top of the network charts. As long as Leshrakt's able to recover, which I really see there being no reason why he can't, he has to get his level 6, and I like that Cuckoo's playing so aggressive, prioritizing the aggression over his own CS here. Just because it is his job to, I think it's more important that he slows down the opponent than to accelerate his game. He needs to make as much time for the Drow as possible.
Mid lane Carl,
man,
is in trouble. Vampire makes the rotation. Zephyr not quite there in time to provide any sort of safety for his Razor. Making a lot of moves, and already you can see them eyeing up, collapsing behind this tower, and already, you know, Geek Fam know they'll quickly make sure that there's no carries to be up here. Only Dubu that will hang around, but nothing he can do to stop this tower going down as Dream now getting involved as well. 8 minutes in, moves to top, takes the tier 1.
Yeah, right as I said in the game that there was really no kill potential happening, it seemed like for Excess Vampire on the Tiny, he's just like, I'll show you, and he's just killing everybody now. Rotating from top to mid, the Leshract, even though he's having a rough start, that Edict shreds towers, one of the best things to kill it through living armor. Usually the problem with Tree is you're not able to commit full to 0 to towers, but that is what the Leshract offers to their lineup that it was missing. They have all the team fight, they have the scaling ability with the Magnus mid, and now you get the very convenient tower taking from the Lesh, who's going to get level 6 off this creep wave. Also trading farm top, but look at this, invading this Drow, man.
They're going to try and drag back Vampire into the clutches of Raven and Carl. They should have a pretty solid kill here on Tiny as Tiny. Oh, maybe with a toss like that. Salvin up. He's away. He's out of range of Carl. They do get the reach for the Thunderstrike, and they will finally claim him, but does take the former heroes to push that support Tiny out of their jungle.
Yeah, I mean, it's what they have to do on the Geek Fam. You can't just say, hey, you know, let Drow do your thing. That's the problem that I gotta keep her safe. You have to help her. She's not independent farmer. Most of the cores in this patch do fit that description where they don't really need help once they get level 5 or 6. And Drow is the complete opposite if she's being bullied like this. And that is the one weakness I see in the hero. And I think that teams have really figured out how to punish that and why Drow's kind of fallen out of favor a bit, despite the fact that she's still getting picked up, especially by teams like Geek Fam. Yeah. And the bounties, as well as the outposts coming out.
And that's sort of what you look at the net worth, you know, Dream and Raven, pretty much the exact same net worth, but because of the heroes, you're much more happy being a Lesh in this position in this sort of game rather than being the Drow at this stage.
He can just chill and farm. He's going to get recalled by Chen. He can always just TP to base, kind of have his own pseudo bots. I think I even saw him queuing up the Boots of Travel. So he's just playing for the efficiency game. The fact that he can itemize in a way that isn't defensive is really useful for his efficiency. Looking to take a fight bottom.
And Geek Fam's got numbers here. They could try and fight this. You know, Shasho's leading him with the Primal Split very aggressively. Carl's going to look for the link onto Dream. Dream's able to step outside of the Static Storm, but the Thunderstrike's bringing him low. Cuckoo's going to attempt to stay on top of the Lesh. Thunderstrike will end. Dream is running as fast as he can. Cuckoo is able to slowly close the gap with that DJ Aura and a Purification nuke. Cuckoo will take the kill.
That was a very sloppy execution by Gambit. They're just like haphazardly taking this, not expecting that many heroes from Geek Fam. Cuckoo TP's in the mid lane, gets immediately RP'd, skewered into the Tiny, but he tosses the mag instead of the Tiny, or instead of the Omni Knight, excuse me, but works out nonetheless, and that might be a tower for them all as well.
I'm going to TP Carl into this lane, but he's not going to be around before the tower falls. Goes straight away onto GP Gambit. Good to kind of turn, pull him in a bit with the shockwave. He's got with the echo, the avalanche too. Carl's in trouble. Toss forward from Vampire. Carl, he's just going to straight up die him. There really one more touch. There it is. Vampire beats him down. Not the TP that Carl should have been going for there. Over ambitious, trying to link this Magnus, but you can't mess around with him. He's got 2 braces and a completed Echo Saber. He's just going to turn and punch you.
I did not like what they did bottom on Gambit, but once they forced 4 heroes there, they are proving the weakness of Geek Geek Fam's lineup that we've seen almost every game they're playing, that they just don't operate well independently. And heroes like Mag, they're just so strong in these small skirmishes. He does so much damage. He's so tanky. He just he has the mobility if he needs to get away from one or two heroes. And they're punishing the fact that Geek Fam heroes bottom, and they kind of lazily TP to other lanes rather than quickly executing to defend their mid tower one at a time, chain feed. Reminiscent of the pub dodo you and I'm sure are used to seeing.
So that's the problem as well from Geek Fam. Yes, they got the carry kill down bottom. They weren't even able to take the tier 1 tower. You know, still Gambit yet to lose a tower themselves. And the aggression is still there. Vampire tosses back Zephyr, drop down the Static Storm. It is going to allow him to get away from them, stay alive, but now Geek Fam can try and turn. They've got the vision for the glimpse back. Tiny's in trouble. He's dead. Geek Fam will get Vampire once more, and they're TPing over aggressively. Khan wants to keep this chase on. See if he can keep on top of FNG. FNG slowed down by the advances, and Raven from the sidelines shoots him down with a multi shot. Geek Fam will punish Gambit this time with 2 deaths for coming over to their side of the map.
Yeah, they do have to be careful of overextending. They do have the Disruptor to punish that. Tree's not a bad support to do that as well. I like the aggression from Gambit, and I like the fact that GPK is playing alone. They've kind of moved the Leshrac into the half of the map that the rest of the team's playing. You can only really have one hero playing alone since you have the Chen lineup. The goal in this patch is to be able to have 5 heroes in one place at a time. Have the capability to do so. You don't always have to. And I think that Gambit really understands this meta well with the use of their Chen. Because the one thing I keep harping on about this Geek Fam lineup is they are able to have 5 heroes in a given moment, but they kind of have to have 5 heroes. Like, none of their heroes do anything alone. You know, Magnus is a solo kill hero with like maybe even just Tiny can kill anyone on the side of Geek Fam, which makes their plays much predictable, much easier to execute. While on the opposing side, Geek Fam probably needs at least 3 heroes to get a kill, and those need to be specific heroes like the Disruptor, as well as the Tree. Otherwise, it's much easier to read from the Geek Fam.
They're going to try for the setup here. Vampire moves in, gets the range, the toss back straight into RP. Messing around, they know that Cuckoo, he is the high value kill. Cuckoo will still stay alive for a little bit longer though. With the use of the G8, a Heavenly Grace, TPs are coming in. Can Gambit actually finish this kill off? Another avalanche, another toss back into the army that FNG has commanded to kill him. They get that kill. Takes them a lot of work, but it's a high value one. All 3 of Geek Fam's cores pretty much evenly in a good position. Grab back here on Shashlo. They're trying to kill him off through the Static Storm. Do they quite have the damage to do so? They'll use the ult off Doobie to hold him in place, but it's not enough damage. Shashlo is fine, and now Gambit can turn. GPK skewers in, beats down the Tree. Geek Fam cannot quite get the kills they need and continue to just sort of, as you say, they're sort of all over the place, losing cores and trying to save them when it's already too late, and losing extra lives on top of it because of the...
Yeah, the dynamic of the game I was trying to explain, albeit poorly, is what exactly is causing that to happen. The fact that they can make so many plays around the map, and then they also have strong teamfight on the side of Gambit, it just is awkward. I don't know how else to word it for Geek Fam to play the map like this. And to the casual observer, I think they just bad. You're like, what are they doing? They're going for these kills, but they have damage issues without the heroes that are also supposed to be farming. While Gambit, all of their cores, I mean the 2 main cores, the Leshrac as well as the Mag, do so much damage that then plus the Tiny's enough that the other one can be farming. And I like that they're going for excess Vampire here, but the Toss, he's continuously doing this to defend himself. There's just so much information. Always 3 heroes from Geek Fam. It's like, yeah, maybe he didn't need the feed right there, right? But there's just always such a heavy commitment required from Geek Fam to do exactly the same thing that Gambit is doing whenever they go for kills.
And you're going to see sort of what Dream now really start to catch up. But he only finds a setup at the bottom because he's got the bots complete. Yeah. So between that, the TP scrolls, FF equal around the map, this Lesh he can be anywhere he wants to.
It's just like a regen rune is what the bots are, and that's why people... we were talking about during the draft off screen here, like why Leshrac kind of fell out of favor. And the only reason I could ever come up with was the Shrine change at 5 minutes used to benefit him a lot because he would expend a lot of his mana, and then he would get like a camp stack or 2 and then heal back up to full and be on the map. And hero damage coming out from the Leshrac is pretty, like 4.1k at this stage in the game. It's almost proving that he's really not participating all that much, to be honest with you. Mainly just clearing creeps and towers, and that just shows that... The funny thing is, Mag's been incredibly involved in this game, and look at the net worths. Hero's insane.
I feel like we've seen this so many times from a Magnus that has a solid start. You know, anyone saw like the GPKs, the niches. You know, these players, they'll have these games, but they just make the hero look straight up busted. Because what other hero can just consistently be this far ahead of the rest of the pack?
And just casually kill people with his ultimate off cooldown, and not even using it as like a team fight spell anymore nowadays. And the big thing I think about Mag that I really like about his build here is, yeah, he goes for all these efficiency items, and now that he has a BKB, he's unkillable. Like, unless he's just so caught out of position, which is, I don't believe is ever going to happen, he's just not killable. And now that you're this far ahead, the one thing that can go wrong is dying, because you're just such a naturally efficient hero. There's no reason to go for more damage items yet, or more efficiency items. You already do that well enough. No reason to get greedy. Just don't give Geek Fam a way back into this game. They are kind of leveling out the net worth lead. It was 5K, now back down to 4K. They're probably going to be looking to roast with this Vlad's. I do like the pickup from the Brewmaster. It gives them that. GPK is just playing like a raid boss.
He just charges in, man. I mean, look at the level difference, for instance. You know, he's level 16 at the moment on the Magnus. Yeah, on the other side, you know, Cuckoo, level 12 on that offlane Omni. And this is Cuckoo, you know, he had a very easy start, right? He had pretty much solo, and he was getting a lot of farm. Now he's going to continue to be bullied. Gambit, with the full 5 of them, they want to take the Omni out of any potential team fight that Geek Fam could put together. He takes a long time to bring down. Another Purification Heal helps him out that little bit, but so much damage is being pumped out by Dream. He cannot stay alive. The GA in vain, as it does nothing at all.
The Brewmaster against the glimpse on mid doesn't really matter that much, but the Brewmaster against the Omni Knight's really nice, just because in the late game fights you have the AoE Dispel against the Guardian Angel. It comes from the Storm Panda. So they have really all the tools they need to deal with what Geek Fam's doing in the game, what their game plan is, how they scale. Gambit really well drafted around like counter-picking Geek Fam's strengths of their lineup. Doing a good job trading from Geek Fam here. They don't really want to fight. They're just too far behind. Heroes like Drow don't do very well when they're this far behind. Even though he's having a decent game, your lineup's behind, and you're just going to get ran at the entire fight, so your damage output's going to be negligible.
Been easier for Gambit to set off these players with the Blink Dagger complete on Excess Vampire. So we've seen already he's just been able to walk up Avalanche and toss back. Now he's going to be able to do it with no trouble at all.
Yeah. You have the BKB coming out on Razor, so he may be able to enable the Drow to fight better by serving as a nice frontliner. But I'm also scared that he just dies to the physical damage of the mag, and you also have to disable from RP that goes through BKB. But so by no means is this a get out of jail free card with the BKB.
They are getting some objectives now though. Geek Fam, they've managed to take the middle tier one and the top one. Bit of a short glimpse, but here's the blink reveal from Excess Vampire. He's going to go jump straight into them, straight into a bit of a disaster though. As the Static Storms drop down, as well as Raven turning with a multi-shot, they'll kill off Excess Vampire. Shashlo's still trying to make something happen with the primal split. The rest of Gambit watching from the sidelines, seeing if they can get somehow by the tier 2, but it seems indeed a little too hard to do so. They've got time to prepare, and they may just catch Shashlo as well here. The vision granted by Dubu, dragged back, he'll go straight for the TP out. He knows there's no stuff. It doesn't matter. Dubu pops the ult, they've got the damage anyway, as Shashlo will not be able to escape, as Gambit maybe getting a little too trigger happy with that Blink Dagger pickup on Excess Vampire, jumping in towards the tier 2 tower. You know, you have to still respect all 3 cores of Geek Fam are still in a very, very good position. They will turn and fight you if you don't fully commit as 5.
Yeah, you do have to punish them when they're out of position, but Geek Fam's playing very conservatively on their own side of the map. The Drow is by no means out of position when he makes these plays on the Tiny, so just like you said, getting a little overeager inside of Gambit. Geek Fam punishing necessarily too, you know you're not out of position. If you're on Geek Fam's side, you have to recognize, okay, where's the line on the map that we can advance to? How far up are we allowed to play? And if we're not crossing that line and they're still going on us, we have to punish it. We cannot just let them do this. And so they did a really good job of defending their Drow there. And it is clear that they do a good job of playing around this hero, so that I like a lot. The fact that they're so highly prioritizing it in their drafts. We have seen the weaknesses of the hero time and time again with them in the last couple days, but we saw them yesterday put up a real fight when they were down by like 5 to 10,000 gold.
Yeah, that's
and
the thing.
This game, they've closed it down to 1,000 actually at 21 minutes, which was previously 5K. By no means is this game all Gambit late.
No, for sure. I mean, because this is the thing, right? We're talking about the difficulties for Geek Fam. Sure, they made a few sort of awkward plays at the start, but overall, it's just the fact of their heroes. It's a very hard game for Geek Fam to win, but they can do it because of how well we've seen them play in later portions of the games.
Brewmaster dying bottom as well again. The tower is getting defended, but they just do so much damage, so many auras. I don't know if he's setting up for his team here. He has to live.
He's going right to the more of them. They do have Raven. The rest of the team is turning up. Wrap around for BKB. GPK's going to pop the BKB in the RP. He's taken out Cuckoo. He's taken down Zephyr as well. But good to go with the BKB. FNG and Vampire. Vampire will toss FNG out of the side to save him. It will cost Vampire his life, and maybe FNG can even get out of it. The plasma field won't quite reach him, so FNG will be able to escape. Each of these fights, looking a little more scrappy for Gambit. Sure, they're getting objectives, but Geek Fam, they're able to get some really good trades out of this.
I don't know if you're necessarily ever willing to sacrifice yourself to any hero to save a Chen, but, Excess Vampire, saving his captain there, you got to respect the self-sacrifice that he's willing to make. The big problem I have with Magnus being your only right clicker this game is it is very clear who Razor is supposed to link in these fights. He's going to hold it, he's going to get the mag every time, and Brewmaster just casually feeding bottom before that. I think he was planning to get recalled by the Chen. Omni Knight's Guardian Angel was like 2 seconds cooldown, so I think that could have been even worse for Gambit than it was. Roche is definitely going to be the point of contention. You have the Drow lineup, you have the Vlads coming out from Gambit. They're going to look to, I think, just punish the fact that the Overgrowth is on cooldown. I think that's really the only thing I can see here. Maybe they just think they're stronger as 5 and they just need to get something done.
So Geek Fam can do anything about this. They do smoke up. They are going to have time to get over towards the pit. And they strike before Roshan falls. It's down to half health. It's not the quickest of Roshan, so they are going to have time to head the fight. Straight up, Carl is thrown into the air. So no hesitation as he commits for the primal split and starts to turn towards the Razor. But Carl, he's tanking. He's still got his BKB ready to utilize if he feels threatened. Gambit posturing outside of the pit. X-Vampire's going to jump in. Immediate BKB. They just turn, rip through the Tiny. The rest of Gambit, they've got to get out of it. Shash's primal is going to end. And Geek Fam, they're going to look to run them down. Static links onto Shash of the Overgrowth here, holding them all down. They'll bring down the Brewmaster. Geek Fam, they're ready to try and kill them all. GPK has popped the BKB and skewer away. Comes back on Dream. It's 3 kills for Geek Fam as Gambit are bullied away from the pit. I mean, you were starting to say yourself when they were going for that race, you're like, what do they see here? It was not going to be an easy play. They were never going to do it that quickly. And Geek Fam, they punch it perfectly.
Yeah, I think Gambit getting a little panic mode right now. I don't know, obviously they can't see if they were up in net worth or not, but they can feel that their lead that they had, the commanding 5k net worth lead, was gone and the control of the game was slipping. And Mag is against a bunch of ranged heroes and an Omni Knight. Like, by no means is RP cleave like a strong mechanic as this game goes late. And I honestly don't know if Gambit can win this game at this point. Like, I'm almost like as doubtful for them as I was for Geek Fam like 10 minutes ago. But Geek Fam's proven they can play these lineups so well.
He's just dead here, right? Unless Dream could do something crazy.
He's so tanky though.
Raven, he's not got the Molly shot quite back up yet, so GPK will manage to live.
Meanwhile, though,
but he loses his carry for it. Yeah. Dream came in to try and help out. He ends up dying. It's a 2k lead now for Geek Fam, and it really does seem like that. Those sort of early game movements that we were so impressed from Gambit, that's just all but a bit of history now, as Geek Fam have taken entire control.
This Razor's a monster.
They're crumbling.
Yeah, I mean, that's just a 1v2. And Carl just showing them who's the real boss here. The problem I have with Tiny now at this stage in the game, if you look at all the scaling for Gambit, now that they're behind, right? Tiny blinks in, what's gonna happen? He's just gonna die, right? You're gonna have Brewmaster. They can't really reliably kill anybody in split. Mag, you have the RP. As I said, the cleave against a bunch of ranged heroes and Omni Knight, just not that strong. Chen, we all know he kind of just enables other heroes, so if the other heroes aren't that strong, neither is Chen. And Leshrac, he has to be up in your face to be dealing damage. And against these ranged heroes from the Drow Razor lineup, which is gonna dish out a lot of damage, he is just not tanky enough at this stage in the game to go close. Like, he's not going to be able to dish out the damage he needs to do. So Gambit's just going to have to try to catch Geek Fam with their pants down. But at this stage, they're 5-manning. They're going to be 5-manning. There's no reason for them not to. You have the spider legs on Omni for positioning. That's a really nice neutral item for him. Just sitting behind one of your 2 cores who's going to be heavenly graced up. At this point, this is when Drow lineups become real scary in the current patch. You just can't fight into it. And if you blink in and misstep even briefly, you're getting glimpsed back in. You're dead.
And that, the cores of Gambit, they really are starting to fall behind with talked about earlier how it's sort of close in the net worth and they have ways to play themselves back in. But you look at Shash though, and he's just really falling back into sort of being a third support this game for Gambit, as he has no net worth to show. And even in those last fights, sure, sometimes you say he's a brew, he's still going to be able to get a lot done with the primal split, but with the damage that GeekFam have, they can do the split. That fight around the pit, Shash tried to get something started, but he had no presence at all. They were not scared of the primal split one bit.
I underestimated GeekFam and their ability to play this lineup, but once again, man, Gambit is just getting torn apart at this stage.
Starting Storm's gonna be down. GPK tries for the RP, but a quick guts from Raven knocks him back. They'll turn and start beating into this Fallout Magnus, who's falling low. He goes for an RP onto nothing at all. GPK's out. Dream is as well. I mean, it's just falling to pieces. They may even just call GG. This is one of those games. They do call GG. They're just done. I don't know what's happening in the comms here for Gambit. They had a decent start, but GeekFam just broke them. And this is game one. They've got to hold more series. They've got to complete the series. But if you're starting off game one of the best of three like that, you can't feel very hopeful at all for Gambit. GeekFam they smashed them.
Everything I was scared about the Drow lineup having happened to it was happening, but GeekFam
Drums active. He's just like all of a sudden that Razor, when he latches onto somebody, he's attacking so fast.
It did kind of seem, because we started off, I will correct myself, I started off by saying that Gambit should be the favorite going into this, but after watching that first game, I'm not too sure. They called relatively early GG as well. Obviously there weren't any Rex dead yet. Is that a good thing?
The game was over. I can't fault him for that.
Okay.
I think that other teams, you could have had the argument that, okay, we're going to have to step up and outplay them on the high ground.
Yes.
But I think there was a very likely chance that it was like a sort of 90-10 scenario where you just weren't able, like, they were playing a nice tempo game, but then they just lost control. And once you lose control with a lineup like that, it's just going to get worse and worse.
Lesh is my favorite hero for Hana and Dota for a decade now. That is, you cannot have a laning phase like that. You are one of those XP dependent cores more than anything else. You can be running around naked with no items. If you're level 10, you don't care because Nidix is going to kill a tower. When you're level 5, that first rotation top, he was level 5. Cuckoo was level 7. there's no coming back, especially when the map. When there's just so much 100, you're playing against Disruptor, right?
Yeah.
Like you're gonna get caught. They disrupt a tree at that. It's not like Lesh can push off lane safely, you know, accelerating. He's eventually gonna get found out and immediately killed.
And when Razor's ahead of you, like that matchup can be okay for Leshrac because he doesn't depend on his attack damage. But when the Razor is ahead of you and you don't have a saving mechanism for the Leshrac, you have frontliners, but Razor's just like, see ya. I'm just going to go straight to that Leshrac. I'm going to latch onto him. I'm going to take him out of the team fight every single time. You know, this Leshrac just won't have a mid-game comeback either.
And he did not.
Something to bring up as well with all these Omni Abaddons being picked. Yes, they're very strong in the meta. Yes, they're great heroes in general because they provide sustain and they can buy the aura items. But they're incredible laners.
Yes.
Like that, they're too strong at laning, to be quite honest. And it also goes into that concept of because you can continue using the courier, these are two of the only heroes in Dota that can provide HP to themselves and damage to you. So mana, extra mana is effectively twice as effective as any of the heroes they'll be up against in a lane. Just spam mangoes, you can have a good time.
Yeah, so maybe focus a little bit more on the lanes for Gambit. They, of course, GG'd out so they can take a break, come back refreshed, and that's what we're going to do too. We'll be right back for game number 2 of the series.
somebody pick out my wardrobe for an event ever.
Yeah.
No, but this
is the
should be
first.
the next. This should be the standard. This should be the norm.
I kind of want.
Yes, I like the
Thieves.
more relaxed feel.
Yeah, me too.
How about every event from now on, we are only gonna wear cozy Christmas outfits, or not necessarily Christmas, just homeware.
I think.
I'm sorry, we can't do that. You want to know why?
Why?
Well, I'll agree to it, and then we'll show up, and then there'll be Purge and his three-piece going on, standing up there on the weatherman. We'll all look like fools.
Yeah,
I will not look like a
We're
fool.
working on ironing shirts. He's got the pocket squares pressed. He's on a different level, but
My man wears shirt stays. You know what they are?
What?
Shirt stays. They're
Yes,
elastic
I've seen
things
them.
you attach to your socks, and then they run up your leg and attach them to your blouse. I wore them in the military, and I will never wear them again.
But they're not
It's just
very
like a bad-
comfortable, right?
No,
When you sit
they're
down,
like kind
they're
of
like-
itchy and stuff, and they rub against you. Purge is like, yeah, I got these shirt stays. They work really well. I was like, yeah, you enjoy that, buddy. I will never do that again.
yeah, I've had enough experiences with feeling itchy in my pants. I don't want to have to do that on a daily basis.
I'm
That's
glad
true.
you
Reminder,
made that
we
joke.
need to stop by when we get back to the Netherlands and get a checkup for you.
Gambit's gonna first pick Tiny again. I like this. I think it's probably their. It's definitely Vampire's best hero as we actually get a zoom in up on the venue. Hi guys, this is what we're inside.
Yes, that's
I've
right.
never seen the top of the building.
Yeah,
There's Skating up there? Is that what that was? It looked like a Zamboni or something rolling
A
around.
Zamboni? I've never.
I don't think it was a
It
Zamboni.
could be a Zamboni on top of a building, but it looked like some sort of skating rink, right?
Possible.
Crazy.
I don't know. Supposedly, I'm gonna go to a bucket spa later. It's like a old school wooden.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about that.
Like huge bucket that they
Okay.
pump hot water into.
Okay.
Apparently, it's traditional to do it naked. So I'll be taking a friend of mine, probably Rich or Cap.
I was gonna ask who the friend was, but I guess I just found out I'm getting naked with Kyle later on.
Hey, you're a Marine.
It's a classic Saturday.
It wouldn't be the first time or the last. You were up close and personal with a naked man. Am I right, Cap?
It's too many to count at this point.
All right, let's focus a little bit more on the Dota at the moment. Just stay on track here. We do have the Omni Knight and Disruptor banned out by Gambit. They also spotted out their mistake previous game, so
Yep. I'm
Geekfam won't get their hands on
Not
that.
surprised. NIGMA did the same in after their first loss to Pandas yesterday because it is the best hero to play as 4 right now because to Cap's point, you can just do so much. There's no, you're not punished for poor positioning because you're so tanky. You have a great laning phase. You always can find kills. And there's just no downside. You even have the ability to go late game and have arguably the best ags in Dota 2. Yeah.
You went from, in my opinion, one of the best easy to go to offlaners of the game. Pick up on the every chance you get to one of the ones that I keep on seeing and keep on hating.
That's
Legion Commander.
I don't
Brian
like
was
that.
right, man.
Yeah, Brian is going on about that too. However, like on paper, I can't imagine like you've got Omni Knight. He can repel, he can heal. You got a Baton, he can shield, he can heal. And then another offlaner that can do that is Legion Commander. He can also purge off the spells and heal a bit. I feel like there is something there.
It's just so single target is the issue. And you don't really provide much outside of and press the attack. You need a much more... I feel like what it is that Omni and Abaddon, you can put with like 20 different draft archetypes and it's going to look great and fit in properly. Legion Commander requires a lot more specific set of circumstances to be top tier.
Yeah, because if you think about like the way Omni wants to play team fights, he can frontline a little bit, but most of the time he's just going to be the reactionary sort of deal, but that's still really easy to play. You have Abaddon, right? Just full on run in all the time. Be the first one into every single fight and be the last one out. Easy to play. Legion Commander, well, your whole mechanic is going to be focused around this duel, which requires you to be able to get the initiation, but simultaneously not overextend. You're easily disposable in that regard.
But is there not a way that you can play it differently so that is not your focus?
The problem is not about necessarily the play, but also the way you have to itemize. Abaddon and Omni Knight all can... they have a lot more luxury in terms of the directions they can go. Vlad's, Helm of the Dominator, Pipe, all very valuable in this patch. Solar Crest, Legion Commander could buy those, but you don't.
We have
really
seen some go for the pipes, but it's not. It doesn't feel
It's not
great
the
for your
same,
toolkit.
because you need to be dealing damage. That's your hero's purpose. You have 1 defensive ability, and Omni has 3. You can't get away with doing that. And they go for immediately now for a bat, most likely just a 1-to-1 deal with this TA. Very good counter for her throughout the game. Very BKB reliant. You lasso her through it, and of course you burn through the refraction before it comes online.
Fair. I mean, nice. You analyzed that properly, but it doesn't feel like you like it.
It's too early.
Is it good versus Tiny? Because I'm looking at this is Bat 5, potentially Core.
Well,
I kind of doubt.
It is one of Cuckoo's favorite heroes. It could also be picked a slight bit earlier because you don't want to give it away to Shatchlow. He's one of the few offlaners in Dota. Like, he'll play Bat into anything.
He was like literally the go-to Bat player of like 3 years ago.
And it's one of those heroes like we talk about all the time, like, oh, man, this is a terrible Bat game. This is going to be rough. But at the end of the day, the reason it's been picked for the last decade is because you have Lasso. You can kill someone, and it might be more difficult, but it's going to provide you one of those game-winning mechanics, and that's the Lich we were talking about in the pre-match. Liquid picked this up first 2 whenever available, and it's... I
mean, we saw it on Ninjas in Pajamas yesterday too, even though they lost. It looked real good, like he had a lot of impact.
Really good LC counter.
What happened to TA, by the way? Because I feel like we're watching One Esports, we're watching, like, for example, EG, just like throughout that tournament with 1-2 Templar Assassins, no big deal. We get to this tournament, only time I see TA really banned out. Oh, they picked Drill Ranger, make sure we ban TA, 3-4. Or 4-5. Like, what?
I think teams might just not be confident with it first 2. All the openers in the previous couple of series were tough for TA. I don't think you want to be picking it into heroes like Tree, as an example. Chen as well, not ideal. It's again, it's a new patch, right? A lot of things are opened up. People haven't really discovered which cores are appropriate for first 2ing. That's when a meta really gets settled, is when that top echelon of 5 to 10 heroes is truly decided upon. A lot of fast picks coming out. The Ember, one of the best 1-to-1 counters against TA. Weak in the lane against him, but throughout the game, you burn through refraction, can immediately get on top of TA. He's very susceptible to being jumped upon, and then Slark as an excellent counter to the Bat. You don't worry about LP super much because you have so much regen in laning phase now, and you can trade so easily with Essence Shift. Plus, you've got a Lich. If you get dual, just pop the armor. You're going to survive no problem.
You know what happened to OD as well,
like,
by the way?
Easy.
Sorry, what happened to OD?
Oh, yeah, I've been...
OD, he's casting. He's probably in the green room waiting to get on.
No, I don't think he's at the green room anymore. I think he's probably sitting at the thing. But...
Oh, Kyle, you slay me. You're the funniest panelist of all of Dota. I love being on panel with you.
Here. I know I'm the best.
Yeah, what do we need for Gambit? Because I feel like their lineup just looks good all around.
They need a save?
I feel like their win condition is already well set up. I feel like Gambit, because the TA can win the mid matchup, they can a little bit snowball and maybe take an early Roshan.
A Bat and Omni are banned, right?
Abaddon and Omni...
they've got to be. I would say that we was...
Abaddon and Omni Knight are banned first phase. So for Shatchlow, I think we're looking for a Shatchlow here for Gambit, right?
Correct.
Timber, Brewmaster, and Darkseer are the only ones still in the pool.
Okay. I mean, Darkseer, maybe? But it's really bad Darkseer game. I wouldn't mind a Greaves hero for sure.
Yeah.
It's tough.
How about...
Yeah, Shiver?
I was raising my hand. If you would, like... A Centaur axes, you know, those type of offlaners. What happened to those? Why are those not good anymore?
I'm fine with anything that's aggressive.
Oh, I like that. I like that a lot. Beastmaster, you have BKB piercing disable, which is quite nice. Slark, TA, Beast all provide vision in different ways. It's so much easier to play a game against Bat. Bat requires a vision advantage to be truly effective, and now you have multiple methods of ensuring that you're going to be the ones with map control. Plus, TA Slark both love having that aura. It's an easy sustain item buyer. You wanted something that could pick up a Vlad's. It's the perfect pick here. I really like it in this scenario.
Yeah, Ember likes stuns that he can kind of stay ahead of. And while Beastmaster's Roar does have an animation, you can see that coming. It's still a range stun. So you can't really feel that good about when you like commit into a fight. You want to be able to commit just a little bit more. There's always going to be that Roar presence. He has to play a lot more in and out than he wants to.
But Legion can purge it off.
That is true, and the lane is also should be good for Legion Commander. When I remember I played
Rubik
that.
can steal it.
It's good, but I think Beast owns the Ember Spirit. This is nice. I was gonna get to it, but PL Naga were the picks here.
Yeah.
Naga,
PL banned.
Exactly, and Naga's it. You wanted an Illusion Core because you're playing against TA.
Yep.
You just can't deal with it. You own Beastmaster as well because you have such high armor and the ability to harass and kill boars. Slark can deal with Naga, but at the end of the day, you always have a sleep. How do you burst a Naga down before she gets the sleep off in this game?
It's definitely really tough. Like, they don't have any obvious, like, they don't have any good disables coming out of their offlaners against Naga, right? Like, neither the TA nor the Slark feel like good about attacking that Naga Siren. My question is like, do you feel good about everybody else's game? Geek Fam.
Well, I love that we have this shot because you can see Gambit, like their coach, still here as 6 now, talking about how they want to play this game because it's tough. You need to hit a tempo timing and take the game before Naga really comes online.
Yeah.
Manta Diffusal, all of a sudden, I don't care what Gambit's advantage is, team fights are somewhat equalized. Once you get to the Butterfly Heart, all of a sudden you just really can't deal with a Naga at all. However, once you get to the mega late game, the vision advantage from Gambit should pull through. Plus, Slark at level 25 plus is just nuts. I really like Gambit's lineup again, but they're definitely on a bit of a clock, and there's a lot of single target pickoff on Geek Fam, so you gotta be smart.
Dude, does Beastmaster Tiny beat, Bat Rider 5 plus Naga?
No idea, but I would imagine that they'll at least be able to pull creeps. So it should be a trade. I think that's what we'll see there. I expect the Slark Lich lane up top to win, and then the mid TA versus Naga. Another very high skill matchup, but I'd lean towards GPK. I think he's.
You don't think Rubik Legion can win that lane?
No. After I saw what Kuro did with Slark yesterday, or with Lich rather, I don't think anything can beat it in the safe lane with a melee hero that has catch.
Out of all the heroes we've talked about, the couple are the the usual suspect. TA, always good. Slark, great. Lich, great. Tiny, great. Gambit has them all.
Yep.
The only one that comes in that same top is the Rubik on the other side. Sure, it's nice, but Gambit looks like they've got a nice well-rounded lineup.
Yep. I like it. I'm leaning Gambit here. I think they might run into Naga problems, but they can execute well. I think they're going to have a much better laning phase. That's key for this team to succeed.
With Gambit, I just feel like the first 4 picks from Geek Fam, a little bit too hard of the game.
Yep.
All right.
Very single target as
well. Let's see if Gambit can indeed force out the game 3. Let's head over to OD Pixel and BSJ.
Try harder.
Thank you very much, Shiva. Yeah, interesting to see what we are going to get this time round. The end of that last game for Gambit, it was rough, right? A very sort of abrupt GG and then sort of tapping away. Coming into this game 2, do you like what Gambit's done here? Do you have sort of similar doubts that you did for Geek Fam last time? Even though Geek Fam did indeed prove us wrong and show us a very strong...
Yeah, last game I did doubt what Geek Fam was bringing, but they are just the best drought team I've seen so far this tournament, so they proved it that they knew how to play that draft. This time around, I've been harping on Legion Commander picks since like the last month since the patch came out, and I think the only thing that makes Legion not remotely terrible is her press the attack skill. And who are you pressing the attack on? A Naga Siren? An Ember Spirit? Like, you don't have these like man up right clickers on the side of Geek Fam to even make use of this Legion. I feel like they have a bunch of counter picks with like the Ember Bat against the TA, and they have like this Naga Siren who's really good against the Beastmaster TA, but none of their heroes go well together. They were talking about teamfight on the panel. I have the issue that like, what is the synergies? Like, you can't even Rubik lift during a last. Like, there's just so much randomness in this Geek Fam lineup that I think they were so focused on what Gambit was doing that even though this Beastmaster I think might have a rough start because he's against the Bat Rider Naga, I think the Ember snowballing from the mid lane is probably their best chance of winning. I think Ember could take over this game quite easily and cause TA some serious issues, especially since Beastmaster is expected to have a rough start. So that for me is Geek Fam's win condition as I'm watching this game, because he will be the one responsible for enabling the Naga Siren to get to the point that Kyle was talking about.
We'll see. Obviously, this mid laner, GPK last game, despite the loss, he was giving us a very solid performance on his Magnus. As the game went on though, Carl's
That went swimmingly. No, you don't.
Damage empowers me.
Got the DD. Oh, the Melt Strike level up. Well played by GPK.
He just gets in under the tag, gets the...
Дубу получилось. Подтолкнул поближе Темпор Ассасин. Первая кровь — это...
Sound strategy.
You are too slow.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Invisibility.
Of events, that death into Vampire, just making sure that Carl couldn't get even a look at the creeps in the middle.
He's looking. I think the new toss nerve range cost him there. I think he would have gotten it onto that range creep to help his TA.
But still, this is just so punishing for the Ember Spirit.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. That will do nicely. Dire's structures are fortified. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
My goodness.
Radiant structures are fortified. Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower has fallen. courier has been killed.
Try harder.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Dire structures are fortified.
This will come back to bite you.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower has fallen. Dire are scanning.
Try harder.
Bottom tower is under attack.
Rule of double damage.
The mystery descends.
Denied! Sound strategy.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Definitely. No, take that.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Mystery is how you lasted so long.
A tool to teach.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower has fallen. Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Victory earns death.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified.
Alms for the dead.
Loaded to the gills. Maybe next time.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen. Radiant are scanning.
I'll take that.
Deceptive rune of invisibility.
Dire's structures are fortified. Never refuse good. What do we hear? Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Dire are scanning. Radiant are scanning. Your sun has fallen to the Radiant. Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified. Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
What have we here?
I'll take that.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
This will do nicely.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Never refuse gold given.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower has fallen. Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack.
Regeneration!
Arms for the dead.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant are scanning. Dire's top tower has fallen. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Haste.
Dire are scanning. Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower has fallen. Radiant's top tower is under attack.
This will do nicely.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified. Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower has fallen. Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Arms for the dead.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
stone.
With the fish. That should help.
Regeneration.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower has fallen. Dire's structures are fortified. Radiant's top tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower has fallen. Dire's middle barracks. Dire's middle barracks has fallen. Dire's top shrine is under attack. Dire's top shrine has fallen. Are scanning.
fire.
In, offers the safe Zippers able to get back on the high ground. Shastro trying to go on the back, but he's dead. He gets the river kill, but he's dead for 80. Duba will fall too. 2 down on Geek Fam. Raven popped the.
I'll take that. Haste.
Arms for the dead.
Invisibility!
Radiant are scanning.
No strategy.
Conceal yourselves.
Haste. Never refuse gold given.
Service, hidden ones.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower has fallen. Radiant's middle barracks are under attack.
Double damage!
I have claimed immortality.
Try harder.
It's a trap. Regeneration!
Radiant's top shrine is under attack.
That should help.
Radiant's top shrine is under attack. Haste! Radiant's top shrine has fallen.
Take that.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Invisibility! Medic!
Are under attack. Radiant's middle barracks has fallen. Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower has fallen. Radiant's top barracks are under attack. Radiant's top barracks has fallen.
You'll never know the mysteries.
Haste! Sound strategy.
Radiant are scanning.
That should help. Invisibility! For the effort!
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Never refuse gold given.
Your body was a cage. I just let you free.
Radiant's top barracks are under attack. Radiant's middle barracks are under attack. Radiant's middle barracks are under attack.
I'll have the brisket, my horse will have your head.
Dire's structures are fortified. Radiant's middle barracks are under attack. Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's middle barracks has fallen.
That should help.
It's a trap.
Dire are scanning. Roshan has fallen to the Dire.
My blaze burns eternal.
Radiant's top barracks are under attack. Radiant's top barracks has fallen. Radiant's courier has been killed. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Dire victory.
Hey you! Stop falling down the YouTube rabbit hole.